Action!
Disgust me. Grow up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of What's the Script? How are we, Chris?
I'm fine, mate. How are you? You're new here?
I'm okay, Norman. How are you, Norman? Who's with you, Norman? Are you yourself, Norman? There better not be anyone else in there, Norman. Get into character.
That's quite disturbing, that.
Can you see my bauble? Can you see my bun?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Can you see it?
Aye.
That's all right. Just in case it doesn't transpire, I've no went to transform or anything like that. It's actually a wig. It's a silver Mammy Bates wig. But these glasses that they suit it are actually mine. You know what I mean?
I was going to say.
Because it came with glasses the exact same as them, but I can't see with it. My proper glasses. So I'm glad I went back to like the fucking 90s and got a pair like that, man. So a wee bit later than usual because of busy weekends. It's been Easter, there's been football, Wayne's, just been too busy. So it is Tuesday as we record this, and if you were keeping up to tabs with us, you'll know that we're doing the 1960 classic Psycho.
Yeah, possibly the first of this kind of film, isn't it?
Aye, that's what I first noticed at the start. Obviously, it's Alfred Hitchcock, but you can even see, even though it's black and white, which is the theme here for me, you can see the 50s films all started full orchestra and all that, whereas this one started a wee bit more kind of suspensey with the diagonal lines and stuff like that going across it and stuff. So, 1960, brilliant.
What a year. What a year.
What a year. Fucking hell. So that would make it 62 years ago. Oh.
That's quite a fair distance, that.
That's quite a fair distance, man. You're like, what a year, as if you're like Thor. You're
Aye.
1,500 years old at your next birthday.
Aye, lead-based paint and the like.
Welcome to the BBC. Today, our feature presentation shall be Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Anthony Perkins and Vera Miles, among others. Also starring guest spot California Joe. So get right into it. So it was heavy strings and suspense, diagonal lines and stuff like that. I put down in my notes there, mad lines. We start off in Phoenix, didn't we, on like Friday, December the 11th?
Yeah. It must be around about lunchtime. Because, what's her name in this? Is it Marion, isn't it?
Marion, mate, aye.
Marion's met up with a long-distance lover. There was none of this.
Son!
There was none of these fucking, what is it, Tinder and all that. Tinder and your likes. You had to go and meet up in your lunch break there.
Aye.
But, all lying there in their wee love den, isn't it?
Aye. Back in the day, you didn't have to kid on to be a porn star. You only had an hour to get everything done, you know what I mean? Including travel.
So they start growing about fucking, what is it? They can't. She doesn't want to keep doing this sneaking about sort of thing, isn't it? But
aye,
she's no married or anything. She just wants it to be more official sort of thing. Isn't it?
But Sam isn't she? Isn't he?
Aye.
And we're saying they got an hour's lunch. I think they'd need to. Well, she'd have had to ask for an extended lunchtime to get that fucking braff, man. You see it? Wow.
You could set your fucking watch to that.
Aye. I think Ravenscraig shut down trying to produce the steel for the underwire for that bra, man. That looks complicated. End up with tinnitus, fucking trying to get it off. What about like that? Oh. Did something fall in your fingers? No, I was trying to get a bra for it lunchtime there, and I can't play the piano for you. I'm awfully sorry.
There's a wee bit of trivia behind that, bra.
Well, go for it. You're trivia king.
No, we'll come back later.
Right,
But,
okay.
Aye, she's talking about how she just practically wants to get married and all that, didn't she?
Aye, but he's rooked, isn't he?
Aye, Sam's blaming his ex-wife and all that, innit?
Aye, and that's right. He's paying alimony, which is taking up all his money, but he stays in a wee room at the back of the hardware shop that he works in, which I think's fucking smashing. Do you know what I mean?
Smell of sawdust.
I wake up middle of the night, need a screwdriver. I'll just get through the back there, through the front. Anything you want. Simpler times.
Puts a spin on a bed of nails, doesn't it?
He's that skint, but he can afford a fucking motel room, you know what I mean? He's afternoon delight.
See that bit I always says to her? When I'm sending my alimony checks, you can lick the stamps. And she goes, I'll lick the stamps.
I'll lick the stamps, Sam. Fucking pure pink all the time.
Try to make the dialogue romantic. I'll lick the stamps.
There you go, man. That's the kind of woman you need in your life. Somebody will lick the fucking stamps right after you. So they part ways anyway. It's not the ideal situation. They're meeting up every couple of afternoons. He's skint, but she wants to marry him, but he's still paying off his alimony. So she goes back to the office and meets her kind of pal, the secretary, and she's actually a cameo in this, isn't she?
Right. It's Alfred Hitchcock's daughter, isn't it?
Yes, youngest daughter. And she, even though it's 1960, she's still 1950s acting. You know what I mean?
No, I thought it was fucking hilarious at all. Oh, I've got a terrible headache. Here, have some of my tranquilizers.
I know.
What?
Shit, info.
Fucking
Have one of these. Just take one and you'll be right out. Keep it away.
Just dishing out tranquilizers like a fucking Smarties.
Aye, exactly. But she never takes one anyway. And long story short, the boss comes back for a working lunch with this kind of like a Texan kind of tycoon that's wanting to like get into partnership or buy them over or something like that, isn't it?
Aye, that's just your typical boastful, rich arsehole, isn't it? Fucking, I love you personally, but I could buy and sell you.
That's right, man. Fucking sits on her desk and all that, and he gives her the money, and she says something about the money, and he says, well, the right amount of money you can buy off happiness.
Oh, just before that, I know, as Marion's coming into the office, you see Alfred Hitchcock standing outside in the street.
Oh, did he know that?
Well, he shows up in all his films, but with this one, he wanted the audience to be more interested in the story instead of looking out for him. So he put himself in earlier than usual.
Christ, the most famous silhouette in film, and I've never even seen it either. Probably because it wasn't a silhouette, it was actually him. I never knew that about him being in all the films, mate. I really didn't.
He's standing outside. I think he's arguing with somebody in a cowboy hat or something.
Aye.
But he's standing outside as she comes in the door.
Probably that guy, because as it's set in Phoenix, in it, so they're right next to that kind of Nevada, Texas kind of southern state anyway. So long story short, the tycoon comes in. He's wanting to put a bit of money into the company for whatever reason. I can't really remember. And
I think he's buying his daughter's house.
That's right. Well done. Well done. He kind of hands Marion 40 grand in cash, didn't he?
See the way he's just waving it in her face? You're like that.
Aye.
What a wanker.
Hitchcock's niece, man. So, I've never seen that much money before.
I do declare.
She's a gog, man. She's fucking chin after the flare stuff. But the gaffer, it's Friday, obviously. Going to be weekend coming up. So the boss man says to Marion, look, can you put that in the bank for us before you go home? Because she complains of a headache still, didn't she? And she wants an early finish.
He's in the back room drinking with the Texan, celebrating this purchase that isn't completed yet.
Aye.
But there you go. There's a right fucking bit of trust data. Marion, why go and take this 40 grand down the bank for us? Know what I mean? Who wouldn't be tempted by that? Because I think they said that money nowadays is like 300,000 or something like that.
Aye, I knew it had wasn't like 40 grand in today's kind of market, although 40 grand in today's market would do me no bother.
Exactly.
But aye, no bother. But he does say that later on you find out that she's worked with him for like 10 years, so he's got an ultimate trust in her. But she complains of the headache and asks if she can go away early. And he says, as long as you bank that money before you go home, no that, and I'll see you Monday kind of thing, doesn't he?
Aye. Plus, we're listening to Sam saying he's skint and all that, how he can't get married and all that.
This could be the end of the
opportunity.
Run away with her man. But it's quite funny how she doesn't fucking phone Sam to let him know about her plan, innit?
Aye, listen, I've committed a bit of money.
Aye, just because Haim starts packing her bag, man, the money's just looking at her in this envelope and she's made her mind up. The plan is getting hatched in her head.
See, that's mind I says about the bra. See, when she's with Sam and that, she's wearing a white brand stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But see, in this, it's in black, and that's because Alfred Hitchcock, it's because she's now done a sinful deed.
A baddie.
Aye, so she's no longer the little white knight sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
she wasn't a white knight to fucking start with. She was a slut. She was a harlot. You know what
didn't
I mean?
even eat her pieces.
Aye, Mammy Bates was right.
Aye.
So anyway, she gets in the car, she does the off, and she actually going through it before she even leaves the city. She comes to the lights, doesn't she?
Aye, sees the gaffer.
Aye, and who just looks into the windscreen. Doesn't he think to say, you should be in your fucking bed, hen? Just looks and then looks away and keeps walking.
Aye.
So she's pedal to the metal after that, isn't she?
Aye, it might be pissed after that, but because I think they'll drink a bottle of whiskey.
This is true. I think it's mad texting. I want to go and see about this bottle he's been talking about. He keeps in his office drawer. I've said too much. Fucking hell, mate. So she's pedal to the metal, man, and she's out of town. So she's having a long drive and getting very tired, and it's that old kind of black and white. It's raining like every American film back then. It rains so you can't see.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Makes you wonder how many fucking accidents there were. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So she pulls it and has a wee kip, didn't she?
Aye, pulls it out. I mean, see that in itself, like just pull it in the middle of nowhere, just for a wee kip. It's not as if she stops at like a station or anything. Just, but then this big creepy bastard copper shows up.
Oh, I know. He hasn't he?
Aye, he's like fucking.
He's got the limo black fucking sunglasses so you can't see one bit of his eyeballs, man.
Aye. Just fucking stares into your soul.
And did you notice that? Did you notice her registration?
No.
ANL. Anal. ANL 709. So maybe that's why I thought, hey, I'm going to have a look in this window here. See? Broad line there, is she? Huh? Dirty bastard police. But he ends up fucking chapping the window. She wakes up. She's off his shift, ain't she?
Yeah, aye. She's not a convincing liar, but I think that's to like kind of underline how she is a good person in all this, and this is a character sort of thing. Because even then, when I was watching it, I was like, I would have jailed you.
I know. Just the very first thing she says, well, I was feeling ever so tired and I nearly had an accident. Did you?
What are you talking about? It's just like, look at all that. Somebody chasing you? No. I just want to go. I just want to go. Like, fuck's sake.
But he's shady, man. Even when he asks for a license, and the camera turns inside the car, you see her hiding what's in her bag, now the money and the files and stuff. And his face is nearly in the window.
I know.
Should her.
See, she comes across all these characters, right? And I'm just thinking this now. See the way he acts. I don't know if it's maybe like it's trying to give you an impression that this character is psycho. Know what I mean? It's just because he just seems a bit intimidating anyway. Know what I mean? Leaned into the motor, fucking They bad shades.
Aye. She does say to him, "Am I acting suspicious?" And he says, "Well, yes, you are." You know what I mean? Whereas in other posts, we just go, "No, I'm just asking questions and just to calm yourself." He's like, "Nah, yes, you are." Make you feel even more uncomfortable. No, that's
Exactly.
fucking mental. But she gets into the car, starts driving, and he follows her for a spell. So much so that she thinks she's going to keep following her, but he turns off. And that's when she spots the car lot.
That's his name, California Charlie or something.
California Charlie, salesman, see? So, don't see the best part, man. When she gets there, fucking police turns up across the road, and then again, as you say, intimidating bastard. He's across like a 4-lane intersection, stands outside his car with his arms folded, watching her all the while. The very fact that she's just been stopped by the police. She wants to change her motor right away.
Aye.
I thought would have been grounds for the police to come here before she fucks off.
Exactly, that's what I think. That's so I was like, you're not doing yourself any favours here.
Aye.
I mean, what difference does it make you fucking well? I know that's like so you don't want to be tracked. Know what I mean?
Aye.
Like that's how see how she has this dealings with California Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
He's like that. Oh, you sure you don't want to take a day, try the motor and all that, make your mind up and stuff? And she's like, no, I'll just take it to now. And it's like,
no, you sure you don't want an engine in the car? No, I'll just take it. I'll Flintstone it, you see.
He's just like, he's like confused, know what I mean? It's like the easiest sale he's ever had, and he's like fighting against the sale sort of thing.
Aye, he even says that, didn't he? He says, I think it's the first time that the salesman's actually been bartered into a sale here. But at the very start, she asks him, might I be able to trade in my car and buy one of yours with cash? And he goes like that. I think you'd be fixing to do anything you set your mind to.
It's so that man, old American part of it.
Oh, brilliant. Dickie bowed up to the nines, man. It's fucking excellent.
But again, see, like I was saying with that copper being, like, is it again, trying to make you think somebody else is the psycho or whatever it is?
Aye.
It's like the same with him. It's like, he doesn't really want to gear the motor, even though it's like...
He knows there's something up, but then again, he's getting probably a decent car and 700 quid, which, like you said, is probably worth thousands today. So
it's about $6,000 or something.
His morals kind of went out the fucking window. And then, but to cut a long story short, she goes to pull away in her new car, and the police comes across into the lot, and then the wee kind of showroom, like kind of mechanic shouts, "Hey, wait there!" She's like that, shitting herself. Oh no, what have I done? And she's forgot her coat and her case that she left in her old car she's trading in, which again shows everybody there that she's busting to get out of Dodge, man. You know what I mean?
Exactly. This leaves a bit of confusion because the copper store in there, and then obviously California Charlie's store in there, and the two of them look just like.
Never get tired of that name.
I know, mate. See, as soon as they said it, mate, I could have started howling, man. Checkpoint Charlie.
And you see, what is it, police sister? She looks like a wrong one to you. I've just sorted the car, no, that no getting a monkeys, but yeah, she does.
Plus, again, mate, I know it's like you're shown that way she is acting a bit dodgy, but could you imagine back in the day? That would have just been fucking the norm for women, I reckon.
Oh, especially, aye, definitely. And I mean, even in today's, if you put yourself in her shoes and something out of character, I've never done it. You've never done it. Your heart would be fucking busting out your chest, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Everybody would be like onto you. You'd think everybody was onto you. She gets on the highway anyway, and it's that's when they first start hearing the voices, and she's hearing in her mind what everybody's talking about behind her back, like Mr. Lowry, her boss, and Cassidy as well. So she's panicking like fuck.
You hear it's like a conversation between the boss and the sister and all this, and who's responsible for the 40 grand gone missing. And then the wee rich guy. I'll track her down. I'll track her down. I'll replace the money with her fine flesh. You're like, what?
I'll replace $40,000 with her fine white flesh. What are you going to do here? Oh, shit.
And then you kind of see it in her face, I know. It just changes slightly. It goes to, but para, and then next thing, like a wee smile comes across her face, doesn't it?
Aye,
And
definitely.
she's getting away with it.
But again, it's fucking starts pelting a fucking rain. The car's coming towards her, as all she can see is lights. So she's getting dazzled and can't see again. And she decides, obviously, to pull into Bates Motel.
It's run by a charming young man called Norman.
Young Norman, eh? And but as she arrives, even when she pulls in, she obviously gets to the office at the chalets and looks up at the house on the hill. And that's where you first see the silhouette of Mother.
Yeah, big mammy bear.
AKA me, Norman. So she's of the opinion there's a woman in the house, you know what I mean?
Plus, it's kind of, again, when she toots the horn, Norman's at the front door. So you're like, there's no chance. Well, there is two people in the house, you know what I mean? If Norman's came out the door that quick.
Exactly. But we know what's in front of the window, didn't we? But so in first kind of introduction, as you said there, this is the first time we really properly watched this film. Although we've maybe seen it on and off 100 times. Properly watching it, you see Anthony Perkins' portrayal of Norman, and he's a kind of young, charismatic, handsome guy, isn't he?
Aye. That's what I mean. That's how I think it's like. See, this film, it's just full of wee twists and turns in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get that copper who was acting weird as fuck, and then you get Big Charlie Boy. He was acting.
Where's he from?
I don't know, mate.
California.
But he was acting a bit shady and no what to gear the motor. And then you get Norman Bates here. Couldn't be nicer. He's probably the nicest person you've met up to this point, know what I mean?
Aye, definitely.
So I think it's just lulling people into a false sense of security again.
Aye, definitely. But he's no slowing the uptake, so Norman gets her into the office, asks her to sign his book, and she puts in a fake name, doesn't she?
Aye, which becomes vital to the story, so
Aye.
it does.
He doesn't know that at this time, obviously, which probably made him feel comfortable about no fucking taking it out after.
Aye, definitely.
So decides to have a wee chat with her and stuff, invites her to have supper with him up at the house. To which she agrees because the next diner's like 10 miles over, isn't it?
Aye. That's a diner or something, isn't it?
Aye, the next eating place diner's like 10 miles down the road, which is a further 5 miles even for the next town, man. So a bit in the middle of nowhere. So she's stuck and she's a wee bit hungry.
He takes her into a room and stuff, and he does something that I've been kind of getting a bit of thought to. He opens the window. So says it's a bit stuffy. But leaves her in a room and all that stuff, invites her to something to eat, and he goes up to the house to ask Mother's permission.
Right. So I knew then anyway, that the window was left opened on purpose, so that he could hear that Mother and him were having an argument up at the house, and she didn't want her anywhere near the house.
Aye. You know, Mother, that harlot, she's a slut.
Strange young woman coming into my house. You take my food, coming near my young, handsome son. Really, Mother, please, Mother. It's not like that, Mother.
Aye, he sounds like a pure wee boy, doesn't he? It's weird.
Aye. So he makes the fastest fucking pieces in the world and comes down that hill, doesn't he?
Aye. Pieces and milk. Whatever a grown boy needs.
Aye. It's actually sandwiches plus milk on the side, people, not a piece of milk, because that's fucking horrible. Do you know what I mean? We never do know what's on the sandwiches, I don't think. There you are. But so she's heard all this, and by all accounts, she's heard a young guy arguing with his mother. She thinks, oh no, I fucking didn't mean to cause that kind of shit. And then it also makes like Norman seem vulnerable and like kind of under the apron kind of thing. So when he comes down, she's even more at ease, I would imagine, with him.
Aye. Kind of, it's like the sympathy thing, isn't it?
Aye.
But the next time they go to have this massive meal that he's concocted in seconds. But instead of eating in her room, he thinks it's a good idea to eat in the office. But when they get to the office is a unnamely place to be having something to eat, so they go into the back office,
Aye.
which is like the fucking a bird's graveyard, isn't it? It's just
Aye.
every bird imaginable is stuffed,
That's it.
taxidermied.
Aye, so she says that he's adept to taxidermy and he's got a fascination with the birds, like you say. Now, we'll come back to this, right? Taxidermy thing later, because we'll come back to it. I just want to mention it later because he didn't put his fucking skills to good use, did he? So, aye, that's it. So she's feeling uncomfortable. They're having a bit of back and forth. She does say that she didn't mean to cause any, you know what I mean, unrest between him and his mum. They start saying that it's okay, it's just she's an old lady, she's sick, blah, blah, she looks after me. And then she kind of fucking touches his nerve, didn't she?
Aye, goes for this nice, charming young man to all abrasive and aggressive in it. Things like that.
Because she says, like, I don't care who it was, if somebody spoke to me like that, do you know what I mean? And then she suggests getting her put in a home. Aye,
and he just, it kind of triggers him, doesn't it? He's just like, oh, people up there are crazy, and she's fine. She just sometimes she goes a little crazy. We all go a little crazy, and he's got this mad creepy bastard smile up at.
Aye, that's the first time you see the behind his eyes. You know what I mean? Even before that, when she said, "Why birds?" and he says he doesn't like stuffing any other animal because he doesn't like stuffing beasts. Oh, which is what we did on Sunday. Anyway.
He also says a weird line as well. A boy's best friend is his mother.
Well, it's true, isn't it? Isn't it, Christopher? Acknowledge the bun.
Oh, that's disturbing, that.
The boy's best friend's his mother. He says, like, she's ill, I could never leave her and all that, and if the least I can do is kind of look after her when she needs me, then I'm her son, I've got to be there for her kind of thing.
Aye. He talks about as well how she kind of getting all well after his stepdad died. Again, he just, and the way he died, and then he just smiles for no apparent reason.
Aye. His portrayal of the story is that she met a guy, the guy convinced her to buy the motel.
Aye.
And then fucked off.
Aye. Popped his clogs.
Aye. Left the mortal coil, but we'll find out about that later. And he says, understand, I don't hate her. I never said you hated her. You know what I mean?
Aye. And talking about this as well, it's like, it kind of gets through to Marion as well, because he kind of talks a wee bit of sense as well, doesn't he?
Aye.
He says that we're all just kind of stuck in our own wee sort of traps and stuff.
Aye.
And I think that kind of gets into her head. And
because he knows right away that she's running away for something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, he knows the script, man.
That's it. But instead of continuing her journey, she says she's going to go to back to Arizona and face the music sort of thing.
Aye.
So.
Aye, you're right. Aye. So he goes like, says, right, no bother. I'll let you get to bed and stuff. You must be tired, and he goes away back into the office, and that's where I've written down. Geek.
Does a bit of old Pervin. Oh, that's as well. He asks her name, didn't he? Obviously, and it's Miss Crane, and she walks out, and he goes to the front desk and he checks the guest book, and obviously the name she's told him doesn't match the one she's wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I think that's
inexperience or just stupidness on her part, to be honest with you. And he's fucking wide on the Clyde, but she's not to know this, obviously. You know what I mean? So he goes into the taxidermy birthday parlour, pulls back the picture and looks through the hole at her getting undressed and getting ready to go for her shower.
Meanwhile, he goes back up to the house, doesn't he? And
she planks the money. She's looking for somewhere to plank money.
She's subtracting. She must be subtracting what she owes back to this money. You know what I mean? It's like
the one sum. Do you know what I mean? $700 from $40,000 equals $39,300. So I have $700 to find. You know what I mean?
Aye. But this is a weird thing I know. I looked at CV Trivia. Apparently, somebody wanted a scene with a toilet in it. So see this whole scene is she rips up the paper, she throws it in the toilet and flushes the toilet.
Right.
That was solely based on somebody wanted a toilet on film.
These newfangled indoor toilet types.
Exactly.
Why? Gee, I might know who done that. Who wanted a toilet in a film?
The
I
idea.
just thought it was solely for the purpose of leaving a clue. Do you know what I mean?
See, I think that's where they kind of worked that angle. But for some reason, somebody wanted a toilet on film for some reason, and flushing.
Oh well, fair
Different
dues.
times, I suppose.
That is trivia. There was a weird bastard on set that had a bit of clout, and he got his wife. So there we go. So he's had a wee peer at her anyway, and she gets ready or unready. She gets the money anyway. She's looking all over this room to try and find it to hide somewhere. Decides she can't, and she'd bought a newspaper earlier that day. Puts the bundle of cash inside the newspaper and leaves it on the sideboard, just all unsuspectful and shit like that. I mean, hiding in plain sight.
But then she goes for her shower.
And slips out her wee silk number and into the shower. And as I say, fucking here, best shower ever. Fucking, because she turns it on and goes right into it. So she's not had to wait 5 minutes for it to get fucking warm. Brilliant. Back in the fucking 60s, I would imagine.
Oh, she was loving it, too. She was loving it. It was like the best shower she'd ever had.
That's what I mean. She's like that, isn't she? Water. Well, you don't see where her horns are, so I suppose.
She's battling fucking her neck with that bar of soap, is what she's doing.
Fucking old school brick.
Try to wash the guilt off, literally.
Try to wash $700 out of herself, see? So before you know it, you just see the back of the shower curtain. She's still mesmerised with the water hitting her face. And you see the kind of dark silhouette figure of somebody behind the curtain, don't you?
Yeah. And just this big, creepy, fucking shadowy figure. Looks a bit like yourself for that hair there.
It was me, Norman. But she was a slut. Before you know it, shower curtain goes back. Fucking old black and white film, Scream. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, fucking. I think there's a name for that scream because there's a couple of movie screams that keep getting used.
Oh.
See, like you ever hear like somebody falls off a building or something and you hear a guy scream? It's like always that. I can't remember what it's called, but aye, so she starts getting stabbed.
Aye, and do you know, so the shower curtain goes back, she screams, and then it pans to the murderer. And it's just the black outline silhouette of a lady, isn't it?
Yep.
Apart from the only lit up bit is these eyes.
Aye.
This mad fucking piercing eyes, man. And then the stabbing starts.
Aye.
And see what I thought was fucking shuddery. The sound of the stabbing. It was fucking so real. I've never bludgeoned somebody to death with 40 fucking wounds and a big fucking kitchen knife, but it sounded like metal tore into flesh, man.
Well, how they done that as well is our Alfred, he sat in a room blindfolded and asked them to go and get different kinds of fruit. And he lay there blindfolded while they stabbed fruit, and he decided what was going to be used for the thing.
Oh, wait. So, simpler times. And what was the fruit? Do you know? Do you remember?
I think it was some kind of melon.
Some
fancy melons.
Some sort of melon type fruit, I would say. Any idea on the knife used? No?
Yeah. Sharp one.
That instantly got my attention, was the sound of that. And I don't know how many times she was stabbed, doesn't really matter. It should have mattered afterwards because the lack of fucking blood on the scene was fucking shocking. She she not only ate like a bird, she had as much blood in her system as a fucking bird as well.
Well, much like, see, like the Evil Dead.
Uh-huh.
Know how when the lassie gets stabbed in the ankle? With the
Ankle,
pencil?
aye, that's right.
They done that with an apple on it.
Aye.
So, fruit. If you're ever going to get stabbed, people, if you sound like you'll get a bit of fruit getting stabbed, then.
And you know, simpler times. Do you know what I mean? See now, they wouldn't even fucking entertain anything like that. Go and get fucking a bag of fruit, start stabbing it, let us hear it. Get a computer out, let us hear your sound effects. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, man.
Fucking what? So obviously she's been stabbed. The murderer makes haste, and her last kind of breath her body, she grabs the shower curtain, falls, pulls the shower curtain after the rings, that famous scene, and she's kind of slumps to her death, half in and half out the bath, with the plug hole, the water and the blood going down the plug.
And that was chocolate syrup as well.
Oh, right.
Because blood doesn't really show up on film, right?
Nah, I wouldn't imagine it would.
Because apparently, well, see, even colour films, apparently they use pig's blood because human blood doesn't show up well on film.
Why?
Apparently, it doesn't look real. I don't know.
Well, I don't get that. We're not going to use the real thing, so it doesn't look like the real thing. When we're trying to portray the real thing. Let's get a fake thing.
Right.
I suppose it's all about, do you know what I mean, tricking the eyes, the senses. Yep. Christ, if you look at Google about how they advertise food, you'd be fucking disgusted, man, what they use.
I know, that's fucking, that's pissed me off, that.
WD-40 and fucking candle wax and, everything else, man. And you're sitting salivating looking at it.
I think he's that big glue-covered pizza.
Spray some air engine cleaner on that burger there. Get a good shot at it. So, obviously, all you start hearing now is the argument between Norman and his mother, didn't you?
Aye. See, years ago, I thought he went like, "Mother, what have you done?"
Mm-hmm.
But he just goes, "Mother, blood," and next time he runs out. But I always remember him going, "Mother, what have you done?"
That's what I thought as well. But there you go. I mean,
is that another Mandela effect?
Aye. But it kind of proceeds at the very tail end of the film. There's a reason why he's not surprised. Aye. What have you done? He's kind of, no again.
Oh, you what you like?
Tell me what you've done. Come on. You went for a bit of fresh air and you've got, look at colour you. Is that pig's blood? Or is it chocolate syrup? Yeah, fucking maniac.
Have you been snacking again?
Aye, so then it's the big clean-up. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
And it's then, if you didn't know before, that you start thinking he's awfully accommodating.
Aye.
What he's shot at what he finds, you know what I mean?
He's very adept at cleaning up a fucking crime scene, I know.
Oh, aye. Fucking best mop in the world, wouldn't he? Get him for work, mate.
I know, I was going to say that. Can that be got?
Aye, I don't care much for the bucket there because there's no drainage influence on the bucket. But...
Aye, but it's just... But again, this is how... Let's see, we were talking about the wee bits of paper getting flushed away.
Uh-huh.
Because out of that toilet, like a fucking fine-tooth comb, but misses a wee piece. You know what I mean? It's just... Aye. Weird they went to the toilet in.
Good ink on the paper back in the days, I know, because when that got a paper film, it's still fucking...
Did they smudge?
I know. Brilliant. So he started to clean up. He's into her car for the sake of fucking movie. He must have went into her car. There's nobody about. But he's still got to fucking go and reverse the car right up to the fucking step for some bastard reason. Because he's obviously going to dispose of her in there. So he moves the car, gets the body into the boot, cleans the bathroom, packs away all her clothes and stuff like that back in her suitcase, didn't he?
Yep. Aye. Just getting rid of all trace that she was ever there, sort of thing.
What's the last thing?
The money. It just chucks it away, and it's at this point you're like, fuck.
I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a broadsheet, right? It's a Los Angeles Times or something like that, so it's a thick paper. However, there's like 2 bundles of £20,000 each in the middle of this fucking thing, and he doesn't when he picks up the paper.
It's like the equivalent of a yellow pages, you know what I mean?
Aye. So her, everything she owns, everything she's brought with her, and the money that nobody's fucking noticed is on the boot of this car, and then he drives the car out to it's like a swamp tar pit kind of thing in it.
Aye, and ditches the body in the car and just watches it sink away. But back in the day, this was a massive shock because that actress, she was mega.
Aye.
That was part of the illusion that the big star doesn't die. I think this is like the first instance of a major star gets killed.
Uh-huh.
And
Do you
Disney
know,
make
do
it
you
all
know
the
what
way to the
else?
end.
Do you know why? I thought she played her sister as well
Aye,
until I looked it up and obviously seen it wasn't, because they could have been fucking sisters, you know what I mean?
definitely, man.
But see the good thing about the tar pit, it's going down, he's watching the car go down and he's like that, waiting it going down, and then it stops, doesn't it?
Aye.
And the
You
fucking,
see the para.
just see the panic, the para of his face, and then when it starts bubbling and going down again, he gives away the first clue of his fucking. There's a wee smile. He's that's a
I
way.
Aye. Oh, I'm some boy, ain't I?
Look what I did for you, mother.
I know. Fucking. But yeah, see, be honest with you, it was a dutiful son there. Dutiful.
Aye. Although
That's to be commended.
aye. I think I begin my ma fucking marry a fucking sharp end of my tongue. Did you do that? First get my hole there, my hole. Never hit my hole. I'm just surmising that Norman's a fucking.
That's true. Well, we need to be, yeah, because it turns out that's a thing that triggers this sort of stuff, innit?
True, mate, true. So she's disposed of, and then it pans to Lila, who is Marion's sister. Everybody's starting to get worried about her. Her boss has hired a private detective, who we'll get to in just a minute. But Lila goes to see Sam, the lover, because she knows the script. Sam doesn't think that she does, but she soon puts him in his place saying, I know everything. You know what I mean? Is she here? Do you know where she is? Where's the money? And he's like, oh, fucking my work here, hen. Talking about.
Aye. And the private detective in it, he's followed the sister because they all still think this is like a big planned event sort of thing.
Aye. They still think she's in Phoenix, but
aye.
It transpires that our boss and the tycoon have hired a private detective because they don't want to go to the police for some fucking mad reason. The boss is still giving her the benefit of the doubt that he's known her, and there must be a simple explanation kind of thing, yeah?
Definitely. But they seem to think that the boyfriend's in on this as well, and he starts getting quizzed about stuff.
The private investigator, he's quite good actually, isn't he?
Aye.
He's asking questions the way that Polish should asked her questions when he woke her up. It's like, no, I'm just asking. I'm just, you know what I mean? Just trying to figure out what's going on.
Aye, somebody that's been there and done it. No, just a mad patrolman sort of thing.
There's a kind of time lapse, isn't there? After they start speaking to him, because the next thing you know, the private investigator's turned up at Bates Motel.
Aye, I think it goes around all the hotels looking to just what he ends up doing at Bates Motel.
Yeah, you montage a bit, didn't you?
Aye.
Come at the doors and all that kind of thing.
Aye, practically goes looking for her to see if she's stayed in any of these hotels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes across the Bates Motel and big Storm and Norman sitting there eating candy. Like a wee boy.
I've got to say, Perkins' acting there's pretty good, man. I like it.
Aye.
I mean, for back in the day, he was pretty good actor. He doesn't conform to the typical 50s, 60s black and white America. He does at times, but just then I think he's really quite, you know what I mean, blasé, and he's no perturbed.
Aye, definitely. So he goes into the detective starts asking him all these questions, doesn't it?
When's your lights on?
Aye. Have you seen this lassie? But right away, Norman's like, no, I've not seen her. No, nobody's been here in weeks. He's like, you're not going to even look at the picture.
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Was it? He asked to see the book, but Norman has no worries about showing him the book.
No,
because he knows the lass's name was Crane, Marion Crane, and it's not the name she wrote down.
Mm-hmm.
So
until he looks at it and goes, yes. Like, yes, fucking what?
Aye.
Yeah, see, this matches the handwriting. She sometimes uses a false name.
And he asks, was she in disguise and stuff? Like, but then
Look at the picture. Take another look at the picture.
Has they backtracked, didn't he?
Aye. Pure suspect. Oh, yeah, right now I remember. You know what I mean? Today, you get like one guest a month and now you remember. She was here freaking 3 or 4 days ago, man. No bother, man.
Aye. But the detective doesn't really believe him, didn't he? No. He's like, this Disney marry up.
No, he doesn't marry up at all. And he sees the silhouette as well.
You're going to need to... Aye. Well, I think Norman's going to show him all the rooms, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But instead, the detective takes a quick look up at the house and sees the silhouette of Mother.
Yeah.
And Norman kind of lets it... Well, the detective starts putting it to Norman. Oh, maybe she got the better of you. Maybe she fooled you or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And again, it triggers this aggressive, abrasive... well, she might have fooled me, but she didn't fool my mother. Know what I mean? But in doing that, he's put his foot in it, hasn't he?
Exactly, man. So he decides to go to a phone box and phone Lila and tell him kind of what he's found, what his thoughts are and stuff, didn't he?
Aye. Says he's going to need to go back and talk to the old mother. Maybe she's seen your sister. And if I'll call back and no later than an hour's time or something.
Aye, just stay by the phone. I'll phone back within an hour.
Aye.
So she's waiting by the phone. But the phone call never comes because the private investigator, who's called Abergast, name the horse, man, he goes up to the house in the hill and just fucking doesn't chat the door, doesn't shout a name, just fucking opens the door and lets himself in.
Aye. Let's see, to be honest with you, I don't know how American law works, but they could have just shot him and it wouldn't have been an issue. You know what I mean? That's putting an entry into it.
Very true indeed. I know he can't enter a property without a fucking warrant. Just to walk in. It wasn't as if the door was lying ajar. And again, he hadn't shouted or identified himself or anything like that or chapped the door. So,
and he just proceeds to walk up the stair.
I know.
I mean, who does that?
Aye. I'm not going to, I'm not going to investigate anywhere in this house. I'm right up to that bedroom, see this old bird up here. Like sitting at a window.
Bit of strange.
Grab that wee bun right off her. So he goes right upstairs, unannounced. And then before you know it, there's a cracking shot of him getting to the top of the stairs. It's like bird's eye view. Again, birds kind of prevalent. Yep. And he's just at the top of the stairs when Mother darts out for another room. Starts stabbing fuck at him at the top.
That same stabby music.
Aye.
Ring.
I forgot to do that when the shower scene. Ring. Well,
that was the thing as well, mate. They were going to just leave the shower scene silent until obviously the person that was doing the score done that, and then Hitchcock agreed. But they were just going to leave it silent with the stabbing noises.
When it worked, man. Well, we don't know if it would have, because we never known any different, but the noise is fucking famous, man. Everybody knows it.
That's how many times that in films, isn't it?
Many times have you done it like in your life to somebody when they're acting fucking a bit stupid?
Exactly, mate.
Say that I've done it to Sean a couple of times. Like, psycho. Got your face, obviously. So when she watches this back, I'll get a fucking sore jaw.
Aye. Well, there you go. That actually just set the groundwork for the Easter tree, mate.
Oh, don't, man. Easter, that's no. Go and watch Mum podcast and then you'll find out what I'm talking about. So she's stabbing Abergast, top of the stairs. He's fucking big eyes, pure shocked. And then goes right down the stairs, didn't he?
See the way he falls down the stairs? What the fuck is that?
It's brilliant, is what it is. But it's only topped by the fact that Mother's fucking down the stairs just as quickly as he's building them. It fucking keeps stabbing him.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Down there like a fucking gazelle.
You will stay down, young man. Fucking brilliant. On your cell, mammy. So Abergast, that's him. Fucking done in. And then we go to Lila again, who's talking to Sam. And she's starting to panic because she's not heard back from him.
Definitely, because it's the hours passed sort of thing. And she's convinced that he had found something. Which he technically had. But
I was just going up to confirm it, wasn't he?
aye,
Something's no right here. I'm going to go up to the house and I'll let you know what I find.
aye. But Sam decides that he's going to go to the Bates Motel, and Lila's to wait there in case the detective comes back.
Aye.
But
And that's when Sam heads up.
aye,
You see the change in Norman when Sam gets there, didn't you?
I can see his whole his outfit and everything now. Like, see the white bra and the black bra thing. When you
Aye.
first see Norman, he just looks normal dressed and all this, but see now it's the black fucking jumper and black trousers and stuff. Quite sinister looking.
Good notice, mate. Good spot. I like that. That's what I do. And it's something I would never have noticed, to be honest with you, but
Aye.
now you say it, it's as fucking obvious as a nose in your face, I suppose, but it's cracking. So Sam heads up. You can see the change in Norman, as I said, man. And Sam wants to speak to the sick old lady, doesn't he?
But there's no answer at the door. And obviously Bates he's back at the swamp, getting rid of the detective. But Sam doesn't get an answer for anybody, so he cuts back and goes back to the hardware store and tells Lila he couldn't find the detective or anything.
Aye.
So-
So they decide to get the sheriff out his bed at fucking whatever hour it is in the morning or late at night. And it's quite good. You get more out of the story. You get the kind of real story here, don't you? Because they
Aye.
mention the sick old lady or the sweet. Yeah, there's a lady in the house, and the sheriff's wife says, "What? Norman took a wife?"
Aye, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is this?
No,
But-
what a wife. He's ma. You daft book.
Exactly. But they're going to talk about how Mrs. Bates and stuff, how Norman's out there himself. But
After some bad business about 10 years back.
when it turns out that the stepdad and Mrs. Bates have been dead for 10 years because both of them were poisoned in a tragic event. Know what I mean?
Aye. So at that point, the sheriff of the town believes that Mrs. Bates poisoned the lover because he was threatening to leave her, and then of a broken heart, she poisoned herself. Do you know what I mean? Pure Romeo and Juliet pish. And Norman's been up there.
That
ever
was
since.
literature.
And Norman's been up there ever since his cell, man. Maybe he's thought to chat the door and look in the boy.
Well, that's it. That's it. But the sheriff calls the Bates Motel, speaks to Norman, and just tells him, because what the sheriff kind of thinks is the private detective's told you a tall tale, and he's away.
Chasing her. To
Aye.
get money.
And they phone Norman, and Norman practically tells him the same story and confirms it. So, but again, the sister, she doesn't believe it. She believes her sister's out at the motel somewhere.
Aye. And we pan back to the hotel and we can hear Norman arguing with mother again.
Aye.
And it's mere mother telling him she will not be putting that fruit cellar, not again, not after the last time. You'll never make me go into that fruit cellar.
Which, mate, see the way it transpires, that is creepy as fuck.
Aye.
Know what I mean? But not Norman. You see Norman in that same camera
Aye.
where she darted out the room to kill the detectives. He's carrying her down the stair.
Mm-hmm.
Aye.
On the fucking fruit cellar. Know what I mean? Right, Ma, you're going to the fruit cellar. You
Aye.
bastard.
You're not going to a home. You're going down to the fruit cellar, you bastard.
So, by all intents and purposes, Norman's took his sick mother down to the fruit cellar. We then flash back to the church coming out, and the sheriff and his wife coming out of church, and he's stopped by Lila and Sam again, isn't it? And
Aye.
he kind of tells him to just drop it.
Aye, because he's been out there and nothing is amiss. Still believes the detectives told him a tall tale. But again, it's like the old the sister. I'll not be assured unless I've got out there myself, sort of thing.
Aye. I won't rest, Sam. I won't rest. You see, I need to deceive myself. So they hatch a plan. Her and Sam. I think Sam got his eye on her arse, and
Aye.
hatch a wee plan to just go up to the Bates Motel and sign in under the false pretense of husband and wife, didn't they? So they can do
Yeah,
a bit of
that's it.
digging.
Aye, the whole pot. Well, they go into the hotel room that they think Marion was in, and they find this wee piece of paper. They didn't make it down the toilet.
Yeah.
And it just so happens to be the 4,000 subtracted with 700.
And that's after I've checked in, because he gives them like chalet 10 right away, furthest away from the office. Doesn't want anybody in chalet number 1.
Yeah, that's it.
See, when they're checking in, mate, Sam's doing all the talking to Norman, and Lila's just like that, looking at him.
Aye, who's the psychos?
Death stare.
Aye. And again, it's Mad Norman. He's just trying to be nice. Oh, and Sam's just, well, that'll be a first. Nae bags, and I've not been asked to pay up front. Just like suspects there's something amiss. Know what I mean? Putting it to him.
Starts getting edgy anyway, so he does.
Yeah. But then after finding a bit of paper in room number 1, they hatch a plan that Sam will go and speak to Norman.
Sorry,
you're
Norman.
right, you're right there, mother. And Lila will go and check the house.
Aye, but so they actually think that Norman's killed Marion and he's took the 40 grand.
Aye.
I mean, the 40 grand is the fucking the red herring in this whole thing.
Yep.
It's initially why she's fucked off, but everybody's motive is surrounding the money that nobody has.
It's like the
Quite good.
suitcase in fucking Pulp Fiction, isn't it?
Aye, exactly, mate. So they decide to search the cabins, starting at number 1. Instead of starting 9 back because they're in 10, you know what I mean?
Aye.
They'll start at number 1, and that's where they find the paper, as you said. And also, there's no shower curtain.
Aye. That's a telltale sign. I forgot about that. But so Sam goes into the office to talk to Norman, and he starts fucking quizzing him, sort of thing.
It keeps them busy, doesn't you?
Aye. Well, Lila goes up to the house again. Doesn't chap the door or anything, just walks into the house.
Yeah.
Like it's.
And again, she goes in, fucking right up the stair to the bedroom,
Aye.
and she know it looks lived in, obviously. Why wouldn't it be? But I'll tell you what, mother must weigh about fucking 40 fucking stone, because the dent in that bed. Jesus Christ.
It's a perfect outline.
Aye, but how deep's it, man?
I know. Oh, like you say, man, she's laid there for fucking 10 years, but it looks like.
Maybe have a salad tomorrow, mother.
Aye. The fucking nae heavy dinners up there.
Oh, mental, man. But she finds Norman's room and all, and it's so childish, innit?
Aye, it's
like a
filled
wee
with wee
boys' room.
toys and stuff. Aye. It's like an infant's room, isn't it?
And it's like a wee cot. What Americans call a cot. A cot to us is a crib, but a cot bed in the corner with just a wee thin blanket surrounded by toys and like rocking horses and shit like that. Stuff a wee boy would, man. So he's not really grew up,
Aye.
I would imagine.
Plus, meanwhile, it cuts back to the office, and Sam's just putting the screws onto Norman into.
Aye, so he picks up a fucking paperweight and an ashtray and decks him.
Aye. I was like, assuming you see Norman just like he's trying to stay there composed, but then the fingers start twitching and stuff, and it's like, oh, that boy's going off his nut.
Aye, starting to get fucking edgy. So he's decked Sam and he runs like fuck up to the house. But this time Lila gets to the fruit cellar, because that's when you would check after you check the fucking bedroom, you know what I mean? That's fruit cellar. So they do. But she can see him coming up, that's why she runs.
Aye, I think she kind of goes down there to hide, but instead of once Norman runs up the stairs, you would run out the house, sort of thing, know what I mean? But she goes fucking further in for some reason.
Aye.
Then
you hear the scream,
aye.
because she's going to the fruit cellar and she sees this. Doesn't she?
Aye.
She thinks it's mother sitting in the corner, puts her on the shoulder, mother turns around, and it's the remains.
The corpse of mother, who has been very shoddily taxidermied, I might say.
This is what I wanted to say. Taxidermist, they didn't fuck all taxidermy. Because it was a skeletal face, man. No eyes, no teeth, no nothing. Just the perfect silhouette of his fucking 10-year dead mother. And then
That's the thing I know. Alfred Hitchcock, he had various versions of the mother corpse.
Right.
And what he would do is he would put it in Janet Leigh's dressing room and stuff. He would put it on set for her. And I think it was like a joke or a prank or whatever it is. But they also think he put it in there to see what one got the biggest scream. And that's what they ended up with.
Aye. Brilliant. See, clever again. Always thinking forward with Alfred, man. Absolutely brilliant. So, as soon as she screams, she's discovered mother's dead. What the fuck's going on? You can imagine at this time the audience back in the day was wondering what the fuck was going on.
Aye.
And that's when, like, Norman appears dressed as mother. The crazy eyes, the big wild mouth, and the knife in his hand. To stay away with fucking Lila.
He just looks so fucking mental, doesn't he?
Ah!
He looks like he's like a fucking rave. He's like his own Eckies, man. Real wide mouth, like.
A bad trip, mate. Bit of bad Eckie, mate.
Oh, fucking.
Just the nick of time, man. Sam's come in right at his fucking back.
Wrestles a knife off him, sort of thing. And again, it's just.
That's bad acting.
Aye.
Every crunch part there when he's wrestling the grinning numbs. Looks as if he's having the energy drained out with some sort of force. You know what I mean?
Fucking let's Superman with kryptonite, man. He just fucking melts away.
Aye. So to everybody that was in the pub with you on Saturday, there we go. It was Norman all along. It was Norman. It wasn't his mum. It was Norman dressed as his mum.
Aye, fucking mental. Oh, I can't believe that. So when I said that, they're like, sorry, what? And I'm like,
aye. I couldn't believe there's people on this planet Earth that know the fucking spoiler. You know what I mean?
Oh, they might have been bamming me up when they didn't know it, but fucking, I was like that.
There we go. But we then cut. So Norman's been caught, and we cut off to the epilogue of the whole film. So I take it we're in the kind of police station, aren't we?
I see a lot of people didn't like this scene, and the studio didn't like it, but I think they kind of felt it was necessary for people that were a bit slow in the uptake, sort of thing.
I was like trying to explain to the audience, wasn't it? Really, the difference between what one of the cops says he was a transvestite. He was well, no, transvestites dress as women for sexual pleasure and arousal. With Norman, it was different. He actually was his mother. You know what I mean?
Because I think this was the first film of its kind.
Aye.
Where you had like a psycho, practically, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this sort of thing was heard of.
No.
But this being said, the book, Norman Bates was based on a real murderer called Ed Gein.
Right.
Who's also the inspiration for Leatherface and Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
Because, well, Google that, Ed Gein was making lampshades out of his skin and all this stuff. The screwball. I think his mom was dead up in the bath.
Wow.
Was it Wisconsin or something like that? I think he was for.
Can't.
A lot of serial killers hail for that area. There must be something in the water.
Aye. I just forgot today. Know what I mean? But the police explains, again, like you said, the difference between schizophrenia and kind of sexual deviant motherfucker. He also explains that it was actually Norman who poisoned her mother's liver and then, in his rage, killed his mother as well.
Yep.
And then decided to fucking weight down her coffin and steal her body before the funeral.
Definitely, man. And then fail at fucking taxidermy.
Aye.
But they're all just... And then they say as well how he probably got triggered because he felt for marrying. He got this sexual stimulus for marrying. And then the wee psychiatrist asked if there's any other missing persons, and turns out there's another 2 young lassies missing.
Aye, which we were saying earlier on means that he wasn't surprised. She's done it again, you know what I mean? And the post also explains really well that out of the 2 personalities, Whereas it was Norman and his mum down there. The mum's obviously taken over, which is
Yep.
why you said that the minute Norman had a wee, I like her, mother get jealous and took
Aye.
over the body and the mind, obviously. And
Yeah.
the best, well, a great thing was when the police comes in and says, he's asking for a blanket. Can I give him one? And they say, yeah, go ahead. And as the police just goes into the room, you see him get into the room, you don't see in the room. He's
Aye.
obviously giving Norman a blanket. And a woman's voice replies to the police, didn't he?
Aye. Thank you.
Oh, it's fucking genius.
Aye. But it's always creepy as fuck because see, you're hearing the arguments and it's Norman arguing with himself. She's a harlot, blah blah blah. That's how I'm arguing with myself.
Mhm.
And then the Norman, I'm not going to down to the fruit cellar again. That dark place. That's Norman again, which is fucking creepy. Just shows how mental he is.
Aye. But then again, I've got no experience or semblance of schizophrenia. It wouldn't be like arguing with yourself. You would be arguing with the other person that's inhabiting your fucking body.
Aye.
We're watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus, and like Oscar Isaac does that fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? Lost the character to character. We've seen McAvoy. That film, what was that called again? Split.
Split.
And he does like 16 different personalities or something.
Aye.
Amazing, man.
Primal Fear was another one of them, wasn't it? That was Ed Norton.
Aye, you're right, mate. You're right.
That was smashing.
But, it just shows you that's a thing out there, man. Schizophrenia. It must be so fucking.
But there's
scary,
the
lovely.
thing as well. See the wee copper that's the copper goes in, but the other one just stands there, holding the door open. Do you know who that is?
Never noticed, mate. No.
He's the old guy that's in Caddyshack. See him, it goes, well, we're waiting.
Right. Aye.
That's who it is, mate. Aye.
Fucking hell, man.
I was like that. I was looking over and going,
It
I
doesn't
don't know
even,
any of these actors.
it
Know what I
doesn't
mean?
even get credited in the
I know.
film. It's
Aye.
only I think the least, the Polis and California Charlie are the two least credited in the film. The
Aye.
rest are all main players. That's amazing, man.
Aye, like I say, it's because I didn't really know any of the actors or anything like that in it. I
Mhm.
just kind of went looking because like Anthony Perkins and stuff, he was kind of typecasted after this.
Oh, I was. Because
Aye.
I think the next thing he done was fucking Psycho 2.
Aye.
And,
Plus, but he got asked anyway, would you do the part again if you were asked? And he went, aye.
of course
Because
not.
he's immortalised in it, isn't he?
Aye, and do you know, he's no long dead, to be honest with you. You know, he's
Aye.
well, a few years did, if I'm correct. I remember reading it. But he made a pure life out of just going to comic cons and festivals and horror shows. And do you know what I mean? I'm sure
Yeah.
he's no fucking grumbling that he's not had to get more acting roles. Brilliant, man.
But it goes till at the end scene, doesn't it? And it's just, you see Norman sitting on this chair with a blanket around him. And you
Brilliant.
just hear his mother talking.
Aye.
She's
Just
like,
as the kind of Polis is summing up
aye.
Norman Bates, and he just looks up at the camera and
He
mad fucking
wants
stabby
to
eyes.
keep his smile. See that bit with the fly? I'm not even going to spot this fly. You'll look at that old woman and go, she wouldn't even hurt a fly.
That's right. I forgot about
fuck?
that.
Creepy bastard.
So there we have it. An absolute fucking cinematic classic, Psycho, 1960. If you think you've seen it, you've probably know. Do you know what I mean? Sit and get a good watch. It's again, I've been fun out with my every film before fucking 1995's an hour and a half. This was over 2 hours.
I know.
Or just 2 hours, wasn't it?
I see it again, mate. It kind of broke the fucking barrier with a lot of stuff. Because this was deemed fucking out there, horrible. Know what I mean?
Do you know what I did read, Chris? And I thought it was very surprising. The film wasn't banned anywhere
Aye.
when it came out, whereas I think 10 years later, 15 years later, Exorcist fucking was
Aye.
taken off his cinema reels and wasn't allowed to be shown. You know what I mean?
Mental, man.
Whereas Psycho is something a human being can do. Exorcist was about supernatural and all that kind of stuff.
Aye.
But you're right, mate. 1960s, people didn't want to hear about this. That this
Aye,
could
exactly.
happen. It just didn't. It's not cricket.
As let's see all the secrecy with the film as well, man. It was crazy.
Aye.
Like, cause people didn't know that obviously Mrs. Bates was dead. Because you see, when Hitchcock was going to make this film, he went out and bought as many copies of the book as possible, so
Right.
people couldn't read the
Can
book.
we read it?
And then see where they were on set. You had to see how you've got like the chairs that the actors and all that get, with the name on the back of it, Mrs. Bates.
No names.
But I so see the press and that was out there like that. Oh, there is a Mrs. Bates in this, so they didn't know.
See, this is something, sign of the times again, I suppose, but it's something I think we would benefit for the day. We get trailers and all that, which are great, but they go over the top, man, and you go to the film theatre and you're seeing the best bits of the film. You've already seen them in the fucking trailers and all that.
That's it.
A bit of mystique would fucking go a long, long way in today's kind of industry. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, man.
Especially if it's a franchise that you're used to and you know's going to deliver, like Marvel, for talk's sake. We don't need to see fucking everything.
All the best bits.
I mean, we didn't see the trailers No Way Home that Garfield and Maguire were going to win it, but we knew they were going to win it. Do you know what I mean? It took away.
I gets released out there to gather the hype for some reason.
Aye, I know. See now, man, the trailers are kind of fucking.
Oh, they're short film.
Like, everybody was losing their shit there until Thor came out yesterday.
Aye.
I mean, it's only 89 days. It's 89 days to the film because there's this trailer. And again, it's only a teaser trailer. And it's not really show jetting you weren't expecting anyway.
So, we forgot to rate Die Hard last week as well.
We did, mate. What you thinking?
Oh, you first.
Die Hard for me is an 8.6.
Aye. I reckon.
Finger scale.
Aye, 8.6. I reckon that's about right, mate.
Psycho, for me, taking into account the time the film came out and stuff like that, is going to beat Die Hard for me. It's going to be a kind of 8-9.
I'll get about an 8.5. Just on the back of that shite wrestle at the end.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
I'm just trying to take favouritism away from the fucking whole scoring thing. I just think everything you said there about 1960s America, this fucking getting flung in their face was epic, man. But there you go. So that was Psycho, folks. Thanks very much for tuning in. Before we go, Mr. Bunnet and Beard here is going to let us know what we're doing next week. What are we doing, Chris?
Well, there was a lot of touch and go. There was things that kept cropping up, but I think we'll just stick with the original one, and it's going to be Tom Hanks and Castaway.
Oh!
You thought I was going to say Forrest Gump there?
You've got the beard for it.
Oh, no, for sure they got to need to show up with a fucking blood on your face.
Hey, it's either that or I buy a bond, bust it. I need to. Good film, mate. Good film. And do you know what? Not seen it in a good long while, so looking forward to it.
That's why I picked it, mate. I've not seen it in fuck knows how long.
Right.
So,
Oscar winner for that, was he?
I think so, mate.
We'll check that out.
We'll see what kind of sealed it. It was you talking about Joker.
Right.
Because Phoenix is practically in the film himself, carries the film himself. That's what kind of sealed it, because Tom Hanks does it, isn't it?
Aye. Which is instantly gave me a thought about a film the following week, but on that, something else will come up, and do you know what I mean? We'll have a think about that. So, guys, thanks again for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, spread the word. We're growing. We're growing ever so slowly, but we're growing. We are streaming in fucking Russia, Canada, America, Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales, South Africa, and a couple more further afield. Nigeria. We're in Nigeria. One person in Nigeria is listening to us.
I'm with Joe Rebo's family.
I was going to do the accent there, but Joe would be doing the talk like that. I'm going to watch the podcast. And that's no being fucking cheeky. I do every cunt's accent, right? I'm doing a Scottish accent now, and I'm actually from Wales. Huh? Think about that. Right, mate, you enjoy your Tuesday. We will back to work tomorrow, so
yes,
smashing, and we'll get Castaway up and bought on the old Amazon.
Oh, I think you might be lucky. It might be on Netflix.
even better. But I like to keep the films that we're doing, so I'll download it definitely onto the Amazon account. And I will go and get out of character now to my way. Put this. I'm just thinking about when I can wear this again, to be honest. You're not going to get the benefit of this if you're on Spotify and stuff. So get on our YouTube and subscribe. It's an over 18, so you need to subscribe to it to see the video, because there's sweary words. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sweary words. We don't want to wait and see them or hear them.
Well, you can get away with it with Mrs. Doubtfire.
When is in 2 weeks' time, we'll be reviewing the classic Robin Williams Mrs. Doubtfire. No, it's just to get a wee bit more puffy. I'll see if I can do with this. I'll see what I can do with it. I'll go to Taylor Ferguson, ask him to put a wee rinse through it and that, a wee back comb. Right, my man, I'm away. Catch you later. I had to stop recording. Oh.
And action!
You disgust me. Grow up.